Podcast. We are talking about Alex Singleton's cancer diagnosis. He was brave enough to speak to the media yesterday about this. So we're going to hear from Alex, and let's start the show now. Welcome into the DNVR Broncos Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. And we are presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. I'm Zach Stevens, joined by my man, Ryan Koenigsberg. We got Dion behind the camera. And Ryan, just really human news yesterday came out literally just a couple of minutes after we ended the show. Alex Singleton announced on social media that he has been diagnosed with testicular cancer, found out last week, informed the team in a meeting at 10 a.m. yesterday, and then came out public with it. Yeah.
Just one of those moments that kind of makes you stop in your tracks and think, and, just think about Alex and think about your own personal health and, your family. Like, it's just crazy thing. I mean, a guy, in his prime, best shape you could be in.
Yeah.
And cancer just doesn't care. And that's scary. It was so brave, I think, of Alex to come out the way that he did. And it's just not surprising, the way that he has handled this and the way that he wants to be, an advocate and someone who gets the reminder out for fellow men to get checked for something like this, because you just never know. I mean, such a kind of, as terrible as it is, also lucky the way that it was caught. And so, yeah, just someone asked me, who was it? I think it was Benny a couple weeks ago, who's like, who on the team, if you had someone you just want to hang out with, who would it be? And I was like, Alex, for sure. He's just one of my favorite guys, really, that I've ever covered. And so, it's great. That it sounds like the prognosis is great, but as good as it can be, at least. But it's just a scary one.
Yeah, extremely scary. And Ryan, you mentioned brave. It's courageous. It's powerful. It's important. He said it was difficult to come out with this publicly, and I can't even begin to imagine how difficult this past 2 weeks have been, the past week has been since he's officially known, and then to be so vulnerable online. But like you said, he did it so that he just wants to impact one person. As long as he impacts one person, and Ryan, his social media posts have got multiple millions of views right now. So I would think that someone in his position, it is going to accomplish exactly what he wants. And I'm so in awe of how he's approaching this, because not just being public about it, but the positive mindset. In fact, we're going to hear from Alex. We got a few clips because he's also then went to speak to the media to get his message out even further yesterday, which, again, is just so cool. And it was really good to hear from him and talk to him. But this positive mindset that he has, he says he wears a Barstool Sports hoodie that says positive vibes. And he says that's just kind of how he's approaching this right now. And he had a cool story about how he has a daughter that's less than 9 months old right now. And he said, she has no idea that something's going on with me right now. And he said he's really feeding off that energy. And you mentioned how it is a good diagnosis right now. In Alex's statement that he released yesterday, he starts it off with this, Ryan. He says, "This morning, I stood before our team as a lucky man." As a lucky man.
Yep.
Like, just talk about the mindset that he's got. And obviously, we'll get into some more details that he shared with us, but he did catch this very early, but he was still diagnosed with cancer, and he's taking this positive approach. Man, I'm inspired by it.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, if he could just impact one person or someone who goes and gets checked out, and like just being completely honest. You hear people say that all of the time. And I think for me personally, I was so used to in my younger days just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm too young to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And like, for some reason, this one really hit me as like, Alex is younger than me.
Wow.
You know, like he's younger than us.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's like, it's just weird. You go from being young to not young really quickly.
Yeah.
And you can just forget. So I'm taking Alex's advice on this one and going to get checked out because you just never know. You just never know. And I'm sure we have a lot of listeners who are in our age range where it's just like, you still feel like young, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't feel like you have to worry about this kind of stuff, but you do.
That just gave me chills. I hadn't thought of it. I've obviously thought, man, he's a 30-year-old that's in the best shape of anyone's life, really, playing at an incredibly high level of the highest levels, and he's younger than me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That is very that's very powerful. And so let's kind of let's break down just what happened and how he found out, because he wants to share this story with the world. What's crazy about this is he found out all of this through an NFL random drug test, just to see if he was doing steroids, and the HCG level came back high. And so they suggested that he go see a urologist. He went and saw a urologist.
Well, isn't that part of the drug test? Like the HCG levels?
Yes, exactly.
So he was like worried that he was getting popped for a positive drug test.
Exactly. So that drug test came back right before the Broncos played the Texans in Houston. And he said his agent and wife knew about that and no one else knew. And he said he was worried going into that game because he knew that he didn't do anything to his body to have that, but he knew that showed up right before. So then on Monday, they get back. He sees a urologist, and the urologist says, we need to take extra steps right now because I'm seeing something that seems abnormal. The Broncos, he calls the Broncos literally get him in to see 2 doctors that exact day. So a week ago from yesterday, he sees the doctors, then it's confirmed. Ryan, he goes out and plays a football game 72 hours later, and you're shaking your head. I couldn't believe it at all. No one could believe it. And man, this just gave me chills too. He said, I just want a couple more days before this impacted my life.
Crazy, man. So crazy. And it's why I put out yesterday, like, I don't want to hear any more slander about Alex Singleton. And
yeah,
here's why. Because it's just very, very rare that you get a guy like this on your team. It just doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
Alex Singleton played last year 3 quarters on a torn ACL. Alex Singleton has broke his thumb twice this year.
Yeah.
Alex Singleton played in a game for your team when he knew he had cancer.
Yep.
Like, forget a wheel route.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't get warriors like this all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to throw anybody or any teams under the bus, but like, you've seen your favorite team go out there and just like have guys who don't feel like they care about, what they're playing for. And so to have someone who cares as much as Alex Singleton does, who loves the game as much as he does, who loves Broncos country as much as he does, he's Teflon in my opinion.
100%. He's as much Teflon as you can get. And Ryan, it shows his toughness, but it also shows that these things happen to real people who think they're invincible. Like he even says, and I think it's in one of the clips that we have that we'll get to in just a second, but if not, I want to make sure to throw this out there. He said, I'm still processing what this means right now and how big this is, because even sometimes I lose track and think that football is the most important thing in life. And when we're watching games, when fans are watching games, sometimes it does feel like that. And I can't even imagine playing and devoting your life for this for 23 years of his life like he probably has. And now having to just put this in perspective right now. So he's clearly still in the processing stage, but I think it's important because it was important for me So I think it's important for you guys to hear straight from Alex's mouth just about how he's doing, what this past week has been like, what his emotions have been like with this going on. And Ryan, before we turn over to Alex, just want to give a shout out to our friends over at Toyota, where of course Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. And if you want any sort of car, whether it's a truck, whether it's a sports car, whether it's a car that can take you to the mountains in the winter, in the summer, Toyota has got you covered. They've got the 2025 Tacoma and the return of the iconic 2025 Land Cruiser. Man, the Land Cruiser is so freaking sweet. The 4Runner is awesome as well. You can't go wrong. And if you're looking for all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive for the snow, they've got it as well. So they've got 16 different vehicle or hybrid vehicles to choose from, including the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. So check them out at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Monarch Money. You know when like you're watching a commercial for like toothpaste and they're like, #1 dentist recommended.
Yeah.
Well, Monarch Money is #1 financial advisor recommended. Yeah. And I speak from experience when I tell you that. My own financial advisors told me you should download the Monarch app. And so I did. And I actually did before he told me that, but I had it regardless. And it is such a great tool to have to be able to track your money, know where your money's going, to help you budget, to help you save if you have goals for something you want to purchase, like a house or whatever else it may be. So you got to check out the Monarch app and go to monarch.com to get 50% off your first year, which is such a great deal. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code DNVR at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Lot of support in the Toyota chat for Alex Singleton. Really cool. A lot of people saying that they're going to get that 49 jersey, which is awesome. And Ryan, it just speaks to exactly what you said, the type of person that you want on your football team, of just like, man, he's all in. He's all about this team leadership. We're going to hear from Nick Benito as well, who is just amazed at Alex Singleton. And one more thing before we hear from Alex himself, he had surgery on Friday. So diagnosed Monday, game is Thursday. He locks in by his choice, obviously, 100% his choice, to do that. Plays every single snap of the game, 100% of the snaps, 60 defensive snaps. Obviously, tremendous performance. We see the incredible hit he had on Dondre Tillman's interception, where he tells Dondre to come over, and then he just blasts the Raiders' offensive lineman. There's also another clip going out where, do you want to describe it?
Nope.
If you've seen the clip, Alex had fun with this, and it was very intentional. And he was having fun for one more time. Hopefully he's back having this fun soon. We'll hear from him on that. But then he has surgery on Friday. And Mike Kliss reported that Bo Lowry, the Broncos head medical person, his title is just the head top guy, and George Payton sat in the waiting room the entire surgery until everything was good and was there. And man, I mean, I've got chills a couple of times in this. That's
culture.
Yeah, it is.
That's culture. And it means a lot to those guys, I think, for them to show that level of care. And I normally wouldn't address this type of stuff, but it's really bothering me. So to the person in the comments who said, time to move on, it's been 24 hours, time to move on. First of all, we are going to talk football today. Second of all, I hope you never have to deal with anything like this. And if you ever do, I especially hope no one says 24 hours after that happens. People that care about you, I hope they don't say time to move on.
Yeah, the 24-hour rule is when you
Wins and losses.
is when you win a football game and you have 24
Jesus.
hours to celebrate, or you lose a football game, you have 24 hours to sulk on it and move on. With this, there is none of that. Ryan, I was ignoring that person, but I'm happy that you just brought it up.
Blood was boiling.
I'm happy you brought it up. Let's hear from Alex, because again, I think, man, it's so important to hear from him. He didn't have to do any of this. He could have just said that he could have popped up on the injury report with an illness or non-football related, and no one would have known anything. But he comes out publicly and says it, and then he comes and talks to the media for 20 minutes yesterday, just to continue to get this word out. And I thought it was really cool to hear from him. So got a couple of clips, just how he's doing, how he's handling this news. So let's hit the first clip. This is Alex talking about what this past week has been like.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, I would say. I don't necessarily even know if I fully have coped with everything that's gone on. I found out Monday afternoon what it fully was, and that I was going to have surgery this past Friday. And so, it was nice, between the doctors and then the team and the medical staff, I was able to they took on all the pressure, and my wife, they kind of took on all the pressure of planning all the doctor's appointments and surgery planning and all that. So I was able to, which is what I wanted to do, was just focus on football for the week, for the Thursday game, and just kind of not let it change my life yet, if that makes sense, because it's still so shocking. And so, they were also good about that. It's been a whirlwind. Today obviously is, and the surgery went really well. So I'm just, obviously happy that, I'm able to, do this with you guys today.
And fantastic news there. The surgery went really well. He did say that they did additional tests already, and the cancer has not spread anywhere else, which is obviously maybe the best news to get in all of this right now. And then he also went on to talk about how he 100% wants to be an advocate for this. And clearly he's taken the biggest step within 2 hours of telling his team. He announces it to the world, and is already getting the message out. And Ryan, he's going to be an incredible advocate for this, because he's already an incredible advocate for Special Olympics. With his sister, and he flies out to where the Super Bowl is every single year to go on Radio Row to spread the message. So he's going to be an incredible advocate, and his exact message to everyone is, if we can get the word out to get everybody screened and checked, don't be afraid of the doctor, because I was for a long time. And he found out because he had to take a random drug test. We don't all have to take random drug tests. So we do have to go out of our way. And so I hope that we can all learn from this and go out of our way to make sure that we're getting screened and checked right there.
Facts.
Another clip from Alex on playing a football game on Thursday, knowing he has this diagnosis, and then having surgery the next day. Let's hear from Alex.
It was kind of an interesting week of emotions for me, because I found out about the drug test the Wednesday before Houston. So there was a lot weighing on me going into even that game, knowing, that I wasn't taking, HCG, this, protein that my body had in it. So I was almost as scared, going into that game more, because at that time it was just my wife and my agent who had known about this. So on Monday, when I, finally got, these results, it was not freeing for me, but a lot more, for me, just in anything in life, I would rather know a game plan and know the steps moving forward to be able to attack that than anything else. And so when we found out Monday, the first thing I said was, I still want to play Thursday. I think football has always been an outlet for me and always will be. So to be able to play Thursday, and the short week honestly made it better. Tuesday, Wednesday, I got to fully immerse myself in football and not really get this off my mind as much as I could, because we weren't going to know anything till after the surgery anyways, and still, don't 100% know everything. And so the biggest thing for me was, how to get my mind off of it. So football was the best thing to do that. And obviously, playing Thursday night here and our throwbacks and all that stuff, it makes it easy to, or not easy, but able to block out, everything that was going on in my mind.
Man, that's powerful again.
Yep, absolutely.
So that also, he put the team above himself last week. And no one expected him to do that. He looped in the Broncos, obviously, when all of this came out last Monday, and they got him the immediate help. But no one expected him to do this at all. And we talked to Nick Benito last night. He also had a charity event. Speaking of just great guys in the community, he had a charity event last night and talked about Alex and what it was like hearing this news. And he hit it spot on the head. We'll hear it in just a second, but he says this is exactly why he's a captain. He proved it to us. So let's hear from Nick last night.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because, there was probably like a select few people that knew, and probably the only people in this group, but, being able to find that out today and just knowing that all he had to go through, and not just necessarily with his body, but just like his mind and how that can probably affect him, and him still being able to go out there and play and help us win. It was really amazing for him, and I'm happy that he was able to have a successful surgery, and hopefully the recovery goes well and stuff like that. I'm really happy.
What does that say just about his leadership, and do you think that brings you guys closer together as a team?
No, 100%. Just being able to fight what he's been fighting through, and still being there for us. It's no question why he's a captain for our team, and it's obviously a big motivation for everybody else because just seeing whatever he's been able to go through, with adversity, and it's no surprise we've been going through adversity all year, but just the stuff that he's going through, it just means a little bit more.
Yep, and then he went on to say later, we want to get this win against the Chiefs for him, and I think there's going to be a big rallying cry for playing for your captain and the heart and soul of your team and your defense, and has been that guy for so long. And like you said earlier, it's not a surprise because he did this last year. He played on a torn ACL. You talk about physical toughness, mental toughness. No one has displayed that more in the NFL over the past few years than Alex Singleton.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. And though, respect in the locker room, most of these guys will tell you it means more to them than anyone else outside or anything like that. And little things like that in the past, are why his teammates love him so much.
Yeah.
There's just a different level of respect that guys have for their teammates who go out and play through that stuff, because it doesn't you don't gain anything for that. You don't get a extra bonus for playing on a torn ACL or
right.
wrapping up your hand in a cast and playing that. You have every right to say hey, I'm hurt, I'm not playing.
Yep.
And I think the ACL, obviously that one wasn't as apparent, but going, out there in a job where you have to tackle guys and losing, having not being able to control the fingers on one of your hands, makes your job harder, which does not help you.
Right. 100%.
But hopefully it can help your team, and that's the mindset that someone like Alex Singleton has, which is just rare.
100%. And Ryan, it goes without saying, but we're gonna say it regardless. The only thing that matters with this is Alex Singleton's health. That's his number one priority. The Broncos' number one priority. They put out a statement. Our number one priority. The only thing we care about is Alex Singleton's health and wishing him the best. But we talk about his mindset. And he put out the statement yesterday, and then he also talked about it. So the first thing he said was, "This morning I stood before our team as a lucky man. I shared with my teammates and coaches that I underwent successful surgery on Friday for testicular cancer after being diagnosed last week. Thankfully, we believe the cancer was caught very early with a great prognosis for me and my family. While we are still awaiting some additional test results, I fully expect to return to the field in the coming weeks." He's got his mind still on football. And no surprise because of who he is, hearing from his words right there. So he talked about his return to football, when that might be. Again, total secondary, but he wants to talk about it. Yeah. And so here was his answer when talking about his potential return. He was first asked, what's your timetable? We'll hear that. And then he was asked a follow-up, which we have also included.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I'm not given like an exact timetable yet, but I should recover pretty quickly from this surgery and then get up and running here pretty soon. But I for sure will be missing this weekend.
okay, then my question was going to be, when you first found out the diagnosis, did you fear that like this would end your season, or did they tell you right away that this is something that you'll be able to come back from fairly quickly?
Yeah, I didn't really know. The doctor. Usually the surgery is that it's more in depth than what I had to do because of the organization. I was able to, go get a CT scan and do a bunch of other tests before my surgery. So I was able to not have as an invasive surgery as most would be. And so they've been, really good, obviously, with that and the timeline and stuff. And so, yeah, but originally, obviously, if it was, season ending, that's one thing. Obviously, my health and in the long run is more important than football, even though sometimes, this to me seems like the biggest thing in the world. So it was good that, obviously it's optimistically not going to be, 4, 5, 6, weeks, thankfully.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible news. And obviously, because it would mean good things for his health, I want to see him back there as soon as possible. Now, he's not going to play this week. I don't think anyone expected that. He did not go on IR yesterday. By the way, I think it's like total BS that he would have to go on IR. Like, there should just be some separate thing for this where it's totally different than football, where he can just not be on the 53, but can come back whenever. I think it's weird there's not that, but there isn't.
Yeah, there's non-football injury.
But you have to be placed on that before the season.
Yeah. There should absolutely be some sort of exempt list.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, just crazy. But he said hopefully not 4, 5, 6 weeks, which means potentially he doesn't even want to go on IR.
Yeah.
And, it's just crazy to think about.
It is. And it just... And he said it, like, because of the Broncos and the connections and catching it so early and not having to wait for appointments and get in and have the surgery within a week of finding out officially, that it wasn't as intense of a procedure. And so still waiting on results, as he said, get more results later this week, maybe early into next week. But we will keep you updated when we find out more. Right after we talk to Alex. And by the way, also, I have communicated individually with Alex. It's the exact same positive mindset. He's making it easier for everyone else when he doesn't have to, which is crazy.
It's Alex.
Yeah, exactly. It's putting everyone else first.
Yeah.
So Alex, we love you. We are sending you our best. We will keep everyone updated when we find out more about him. His health is the number one priority. Just period. Nothing else said. We did talk to Justin Sternad right after, though, which surprised me. I just thought we were going to talk to Alex, but we talked to Justin, and he took us through some of the emotions of going on. And Ryan, he was asked, what's the play? Alex Singleton's the guy that wears the green dot. Mm-hmm. He is not only everything we've said about him as a leader, he is the voice of the defense. That's why he plays every single play, or that's why they put the green dot on him, is because he plays every single play and he's a great communicator. What the green dot means is Vance is able to communicate to him. Just like Sean Payton talks to Bo Nix in his helmet, Vance talks to Alex Singleton in his helmet. Only one person is allowed a green dot on your defense. Now that's got to go to someone else. So, big loss for the Broncos on the field, because he's a guy that plays every single snap. He's good, and he's the communicator on the defense now. Justin Sternad was asked, do you take that? Does Dre take that? Who takes it? And he said, we're going to keep that private. So some people in the Twitter chat today have been saying that maybe it's Brandon Jones that takes that. I believe Justin Simmons was that guy. So it could be. And man, Brandon Jones seems like he could do it. Huff could do it. Fortunately, on the Broncos, there's so many guys that are capable of doing this. Personally, I just don't think it's going to be Dre Greenlaw, because he hasn't played 100% of the snaps yet. It might be, though. He might be ready for that big step up. It could be Justin. Obviously, he's the clear guy to try and fill Alex's shoes on the field, and it's going to be Justin and Dre. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Brandon Jones this week.
Yeah, so the reason why usually it stays with a linebacker is because that person has to communicate with the whole defense. So you'd prefer to have it be someone in the middle of the defense. They can bark out a call to the line, turn around, communicate to the secondary.
Yep.
But it is interesting with Dre Greenlaw, who would be I think the most obvious answer if he was healthy. If you're not planning on playing him 100% of the snaps, well, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
So it can be done. You can switch out helmets.
Yeah.
Based on personnel groups, but it's not ideal.
No.
So it'd be interesting to see how they do it. I'm gonna guess it goes to Justin Strnad.
Okay. I like that. And man, Justin, some people are asking who filled in for Alex last year. Well, it was Justin that took the step up. Justin hadn't played a defensive snap in 3 years for the Broncos before Alex got hurt. He steps in and plays like a legit starter in the NFL. And that just shows the depth. That shows how ready he is for this. So Justin obviously stepped up and played and filled in for Dre Greenlaw this year when he was hurt and then suspended. I expect to see that from Justin as well right now. And man, this defense is just so deep that they don't really lose that much when a Dre Greenlaw is out, or even a Pat Surtain being out. You have Chris Abrams-Drain come in, and
how has that not been a storyline over the last 2 weeks?
It's crazy. Ryan, they've given up 28 points in 2 games combined.
Yeah.
14 points a game when you're missing your defensive player of the year. Like, credit to Vance Joseph, credit to this depth, credit to everyone else, because everyone else also steps up when one guy goes out, and that's what they're going to have to do with Alex being out right now, is everyone just step up, not just Justin, but Dre and the secondary and the defensive line. So, a really fitting read right now, Ryan, is giving a shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit Sports Medicine. This is a specific call to athletes, weekend warriors, anyone who loves to move, or just anyone that wants to take care of themselves, wants to make sure their loved ones are taking care of themselves, getting preventative checked, because Common Spirit can do it all. Whether you're dealing with a athletic injury that has popped up, you want to just take steps to make sure that you're staying healthy, to make sure that you are healthy right now, Common Spirit Health is the place to do it. And man, they are there for you, and they're there for the Denver Broncos, helping Alex along this way. Their experts understand the unique demands on your body, so they give you personalized treatment plans combining things like physical therapy, injury prevention strategies, and strength training. This isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about preventative care, performance enhancement, and getting you back to peak condition safely and quickly. So this is really important. If you want to learn more for yourself, for someone else, go to mountain.commonspirit.org. Don't let an injury keep you on the bench. And even better, be proactive about your health. That's what we're all about, especially in today's news. Listen to Alex. Go to mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Mack Weldon. For a long time, some people's jobs just made them be uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's just part of the job. You just had to wear uncomfortable clothes. And those days are just behind us, thanks to Mack Weldon. They've got the Cool Max technology, which you can get in a button up. You can get it in your t-shirts. They've also got breathable underwear with the AirKnit technology. And now they have the AirKnit technology in t-shirts and polos as well. So you can look nice without having to be uncomfortable. It can be breathable depending on the climate that you work in. It's just great. And they've got all sorts of great stuff over at Mack Weldon for great prices. So get breathable clothes from our friends over at Mack Weldon. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code DNVR. That's MackWeldon.com, promo code DNVR.
All right, and shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. Like I said, Ryan, when we get updates and when Alex shares them, we'll make sure to pass those on to you. We wish nothing but the best for Alex. And Ryan, I actually know he's in the building every single day this week too, helping his teammates get prepared, locking in himself, because he probably wants a win against Kansas City more than anyone else in Broncos country as well. And Ryan, this Kansas City Chiefs team, this game feels so big. And tomorrow I want to dive into just what's at stake, because I think it's so much right now.
It's everything.
I love that. And it's everything to maybe both teams right now, which we'll dive into. But Ryan, this Kansas City Chiefs team, how good are they? And I asked that. You can say they're Super Bowl favorites. Like literally the odds suggest they are the top favorite to win the Super Bowl. Or you can say they're a team that's out of the playoffs. Because Ryan, with their 5-4 record, they are literally out of the playoffs. They are the 8th seed in the AFC right now. They have Patrick Mahomes, but they also have 4 losses and are almost a 500 team. How good are they?
I have no idea. But the Chiefs haven't really been good for years.
It's so crazy to say, because you just look at their resume and you're like, what are you talking about? They went 15-2 last year and made the Super Bowl. But then you watch the game and you're like, no.
There's just a really big but at the end of that sentence when you say the Chiefs haven't really been good for years, but they have Patrick Mahomes, which means they have a chance to win every single game. And more often than not, they do. But when you look at this year's team, I mean, lose to the Chargers opening night, lose to the Eagles in a close one. They lost to the Jags.
What?
Yeah. They beat the Lions pretty handily. Mm-hmm. They smoked the Raiders. They smoked the Commanders. And then they lost to the Bills. How good are the Bills even?
God, that's a great question. It looked like they were going to be the Super Bowl champs after beating KC, and then they go out and get smoked by the Dolphins.
Yep, and you got, the Eagles putting up a 10-7. How good is anyone?
That's so true.
That's why the Chiefs are the Super Bowl favorites. Because no one in the NFL has laid claim to being a great team this year. And so what? Tiebreaker goes to the team that just finds a way to get there. And everyone knows that I can't believe I'm even saying if they get to the playoffs,
right?
They are going to have a chance to win those games because Patrick Mahomes knows how to pull out a rabbit out of a hat better than anyone else. And so I was alluding to this with Akib on the No Lie Zone, which you guys can check out, just dropped this morning. But I was like, how do you even prepare for a game like this? Because you can watch film all day long and know the concepts and have a better idea of what they're going to run in certain situations, and that'll help you. But in the end, the game's going to come down to Patrick Mahomes running around for 6 seconds in the backfield and everyone else running around trying to keep up with the receivers. It's such a difficult game to prepare for. You have to mitigate Mahomes. You have to mitigate him from being able to do the crazy shit.
100%. And Ryan, when you were saying that, 2 games popped out in my mind. The first one is Mahomes running around doing crazy shit. Von Miller chasing him down, almost has him for a sack at the end of the game, and Mahomes throws a left-handed pass. In Denver. That was a primetime game, and it's just how do you prepare for that? The other one that pops into mind is, okay, you have to mitigate Mahomes just doing crazy stuff at the end of a game. You know how the Broncos did that last year and should have had a win? They just didn't let Mahomes have the ball for the final 5 minutes of the game. Bo Nix did a fantastic job. I believe, shout out to Audric Estime. That was his best game as a Bronco. Mm-hmm. He was getting 5 yards at a time. The Broncos meticulously went down the field. They got the ball with 5:24 left. They ended the game with 0 minutes left and kicking that field goal. And we know how it ended. The ending was terrible, but that drive was exactly how you beat the Chiefs, because we all saw 13 seconds could be too much time to give the ball back to Mahomes. You got to give it back to him with 0 seconds if you want to truly just strip away Mahomes of his powers.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's not necessarily how these other teams have beaten them this year. I don't know. I mean, the Bills did beat them by running the football. I thought that was the number one key of that game. Yeah. But also they got pressure on Mahomes. I mean, he is getting older.
Yeah. Every single day.
Exactly. He didn't look nearly as magical in that Bills game, which is the last game that we got to see him out there.
Yep.
I think it was the worst game of his career statistically.
Wow.
He went 15 of 34.
Wow.
0 touchdowns and an interception.
Wow. I love that.
And so, I mean, they had him just running around, and they did a great job in the back half of just not letting anything open, not letting anything crazy happen. They had like a 40-yard pass down the field to Hollywood Brown, but other than that, there wasn't really any big plays that happened. That 40-yard pass, I just remember what it was. It was a fourth, maybe 3rd and 17.
Wow.
You know, it just drops back like 20 yards and then just chucks it down the field to Hollywood Brown. Like, so those are the things that you are just going to have to be prepared for. But I think the big thing is not letting those things be backbreaking and actually almost preparing for them to happen. I think the first 4 years of Mahomes' career, like every time that happened, you like throw your hat across the room, stomp your fist, throw in the remote, because you're just like, how is this happening? I think, and you just imagine as a team, you feel the same way, right?
Yeah.
You give up 3rd and 17, 4th and 17. It's
Yeah.
like, how the F does he keep doing this? I think you have to like remove that emotion from it and just think of that as the same as like a 5-yard gain on 1st and 5. Now you don't want to let it happen, but you can't let it be so frustrating, because I think that frustration starts to get to you. And then as a pass rusher, you're like, I got to get there. And then you get out of your lane a little too quick. He steps up and he's able to run and scramble. Like, you have to be really disciplined and really even keeled when you go up against Patrick Mahomes, because he is just going to frustrate you.
Man, it's such a good point. And Ryan, there's 2 legitimate pieces of hope why I think the Broncos can overcome things like that. One, for the past 2 weeks, Sean Payton has really made a point of emphasis to make Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's practices like Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sean drops this in the middle of practice. Okay, Mahomes tries to set up a situation of Mahomes just made a crazy play. You guys have to rebound right now. How are you going to act? Obviously, it's not, you can't 100% do that because the emotions probably won't be there. But my guess is he's going to try to implement that. And the second thing is, man, Bo Nix, you can say whatever you want about him in the first 3 quarters. He doesn't lose his composure. He doesn't get down on himself. That when the TV clips to him on the sideline and the Broncos are down in the 4th quarter, he's not hands in his face, completely dejected. He's getting his teammates fired up on the sideline, and his teammates believe that now as well. That's going to be important to sync around the entire team after this. And instead of being down, like you said, after a big play that's made against them, is just maintaining that faith. And boy, the Broncos have maintained faith better than any other team in the NFL so far this year. They've been in really tough situations for the last 5 games. They've had to, or for their past 6 games, they've had to have game-winning drives. No, actually, 5 of the past 6, they've had to do that. So it's just going to be that again for the Broncos. And I think that their coach and their quarterback have that right mentality. And we always say the personality of a team takes on either their coach or their quarterback. They can take on either one this week.
Is there any part of you that thinks that Bo Nix might be hurt?
It makes sense.
Yeah. Because that's like, someone posted like a sick Bo Nix highlight montage on Twitter today, and I was just watching that. I'm like, man, we haven't seen him do anything like this in a couple weeks now. And I just, people, you've got like Colin Cowherd saying he's regressed, and I'm just wondering if maybe he's just dealing with a little something that's throwing him off.
It would make so much sense, and you mentioned throwing him off, because we see it physically. His footwork has completely changed. He had really good footwork for a rookie last year. At the beginning of the season, it was good, and at some point, it did just become really, really hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a mental thing, which it definitely could be. Your feet are so connected to your mind when it comes to quarterback's footwork, but maybe it is something physical that's just throwing him off, and it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen it happen a few times where a quarterback is hurt, and all of a sudden, like, I remember Case Keenum, they're like, he's not using his legs. And then it came out he had like a knee thing.
Yeah.
I remember Trevor Siemian was bailing out of the pocket, and it turned out he had like a second head on his shoulder. And so he was trying to like avoid getting hit. So he was a little happy getting out of the pocket because he didn't want to get hit because his shoulder was nasty as hell. So it just got me to thinking, I hope he's not.
Yeah.
I'd rather just say, oh, he's in a 2-week slump.
Right.
And he can break out of it. But it is, I'm monitoring. That's what I said to Benny after the game. He's like, where are you at with Bo Nix? I said, I'm monitoring. And that includes, his health.
Yeah, that's very fair. And Ryan, we saw last year he broke his back in the Raiders game and played through it. Didn't miss a single snap in that game. Didn't miss a single snap moving forward. He had a little procedure at the end of the season to fix it, and no one knew anything about it till the end of the season. So, I mean, if anyone's going to be able to kind of cover it up and just play through it, it is him. Man, the good news is, Ryan, Broncos play one game in a 23-day stretch right now because they had the long bye. Then they play the Chiefs. Then they have their real bye. And then they play on Sunday night against the Commanders. So one game in 23 days, if something is going on, and actually, regardless of what is, mentally, physically, he can, this time could help him there.
Can I give you a prediction?
Yes.
Do you want to go after the break?
Yeah, I'm curious. After the break, when I give you a shout out to our friends over at Bet365, use that code DNVR365 when you sign up to get $200 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet after depositing $10. They're going to hook you up with that over at Bet365. And Bet365, they've got bets for everything. Broncos, Chiefs. The line started at +4. If you want to get plus money on the Broncos, you are not going to be able to get that very often. Plus money at home to a team that has the longest home winning streak in the NFL. Whew, you can get nearly +200 on the Broncos to just win straight up. So you can do that over at Bet365. Of course, you can get in on Nuggets. You can get in on Avs. And you can get in, I believe CSU plays this week. CU has a bye week. They've got it all over at Bet365. So use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place a $5 bet after depositing $10. When using that code DNVR365, you can get $200 in bonus bets. Win or lose. Must be 21 and older. Physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends at Ent Credit Union, the largest credit union in the States, and of course, the official banking partner of the Denver Broncos. And they, of course, have the Ent Broncos debit card. Boom, right here. It's got Bo Nix on there. It looks sweet. It's got a little signature. He's making one of his patented rolling to the left throws across his body, which we actually haven't seen in a couple weeks. But I hope to see a lot of it this week. I just want to see Bo be Bo this week. But if you want to have a sweet Broncos debit card, and it's not just the looks, you're going to get entered every 15 swipes for a chance to win home game tickets. And you're also going to get 10% off food and gear on game days when you get those home game tickets. There's no surprise fee. So if you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by the NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
And one more time, a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. And shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I saw that our guy, Bad Moon, became a member of the Supporters Club. That is just a great way, especially on YouTube, to support us. You can go to our, just the main part of our YouTube page, and you can join the Supporters Club there. And when you do, make sure to say hi and that you became a member just like Bad Moon did. Hit us with a thumbs up. We appreciate it. We appreciate everyone that's tuning in right now. All right, Ryan, tell me your prediction.
So I just want to take you back to week 3.
Okay.
It was probably like a Tuesday or Wednesday show, just like this one. Going into week 4.
Okay.
And the Broncos were 1-2.
Yeah, tough.
And everyone was losing their minds, and Bo wasn't the guy, and this, that, and the other.
Not clutch.
The defense was overrated. That was everyone was way overhyping the defense. And I said, watch what happens. They're going to beat the Bengals, and they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Oof. And all of a sudden, everyone's going to go back to the way they felt about this team before the season. They'll be 3-3 with a win over the 3-2.
Yep.
With a win over the defending Super Bowl champions, and everyone will feel fine.
Spot on.
Yes,
great call.
It was right, and they haven't lost since. Here's my prediction for this one.
Ooh.
Bo balls.
Oh.
And everyone spends all of next week, Broncos win. Everyone spends all of next week saying, Bo Nix, he's the guy. Anyone who said he wasn't was crazy. Then, bye week, Broncos go out, play the Commanders, 10-7 again. Offense looks completely anemic. Everyone loses their mind again. It's such a week-to-week league that everyone forgets, like, the Broncos scored 44 points 2 games ago, and everyone was like, wow, this is incredible.
Yep.
You have 2 weeks with bad offense. By the way, you win both games, and everyone's back to the other side. So I think that's what it's going to be. Bo's going to be the savior on Sunday night, And the next time they play, then it's going to be everyone's back to be freaking out. This team, the offense isn't good enough to win.
At least let us have the entire bye week to enjoy a good bow.
That's true.
With the vibes being up. Do they win that 10-7 game against the Commanders?
Yep.
Okay, good. That's all I need. How about 10-7 game? So Broncos, Thursday night primetime 10-7. Last night, Monday Night Football, 10-7. Those are the two lowest scoring games in the NFL this year. Both happened this week on primetime. And people that are freaking out over the Broncos offense only scoring 10 points against the Raiders. Freaking out in Philadelphia. Freaking out in Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay's freaking out.
Is Cowherd up there today saying, watch Nick Sirianni draft a new quarterback.
right. Saying that about Jordan Love.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right about it being a week-to-week league. And that's what makes the NFL so great is every game matters so much.
And we have no choice to talk about it for 6 days.
That's exactly
or
right.
10 in this case.
That is exactly right. Ryan, when I was looking at this game, something crazy popped out to me. This Kansas City Chiefs team is the opposite of who they were last year. And they are the opposite of who the Broncos are this year. And I think that could be so good for the Broncos. They have 5 wins, all of them by more than 1 score. They have 4 losses, all of them by 1 score or less.
Like the Broncos last year.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I didn't even think of it like that. The Broncos and Chiefs have flipped from this year to last year because that's all the Chiefs did last year. They didn't blow a single team out. In fact, it's like, are they even good? But they'd win every game.
Yep.
Literally 15-1 when Patrick Mahomes was a starter last year. Now they only win blowouts. And Ryan, that flipped his script for the Broncos. All they do is not all they do, but the Broncos come through now in close games. They're 5-0 in 1-score games since week 4. And it just shows that they're clutch. Maybe the Chiefs have lost their clutch gene, which has carried them for a couple of years now.
It's true. I mean, I don't know. No one likes to hear this after you lose a close game. But a lot of times there's luck involved. And sometimes the 1-score game luck goes your way, and sometimes it's not going your way. And it could come down to something as simple as the bounce of the ball on a fumble went to you instead of away from you, and that's why you won the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot like actually turnover luck. We talk about turnover luck all the time. We don't really talk about game luck as much because we want to give them credit when they win and we want to bash them when they lose. But it's true. I mean, the game, the ball isn't round, and it's what makes it such a great sport.
It's true.
You bounce one way and you win, bounce another way and you lose. And it's just not like that in any other sport. So, and it is in hockey, and that's why they have puck luck.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes you have it going. And so, I think there's on top of that, while there's luck involved, I think that there is a compounding kind of nature to it to when all it takes is a couple bounces to go your way, and then you just believe that the bounces are going to go your way.
Yeah.
And everyone buys in. And when they're not going your way, you start to wonder if the bounces will ever go your way again. And then you start losing all those games. And I think it's both things have happened to these teams.
Yeah, 100%. And that is what could be, that's what Vegas says the difference is going to be in the game this week is it's a 4-point spread, still a close game. Just no one wants to count out the Chiefs. And I understand why, because they have the proven track record. But man, if you look at it this year, if the Broncos keep this a close game, they're going to win. That's what the first 10 weeks of this season has showed us, because you mentioned it. They lost to the Jags, Ryan. The Jags started off 3-0, I think. Now they're completely tumbling off right now. They've beat some good teams. They've also beat some bad teams. Losing to the Jags and Chargers, losing to the Eagles and Bills, that's acceptable. But man, the Jags and Chargers, that's just crazy. So for me, like right now on Tuesday, the key to this game is keep it, as crazy as it is, keep it to a 1-score game against Patrick Mahomes.
Totally. Can I give you a crazy stat?
Yeah.
It's actually a list of stats. It could, maybe we save it for tomorrow, or maybe I give it to you now.
Oh man, it's juicy. I'm ready for it now, but if you want to save it, it's a good tease.
If you're ready, I'm ready. Okay. So shout out to James, make sure I get his name right. James Poland on Twitter, who compiled the Broncos in 2015 through 10 games with the Broncos in 2025 through 10 games. The stats are kind of staggering.
Oh, gosh.
2025, Bo Nix, 213 of 350 passing.
Okay.
That's 60.9%. 2015, Manning and Osweiler through 10 games, 213 for 349.
Oh, my gosh.
That's 0.1% off. 2025, Bo Nix has 2,100 yards passing. Manning and Osweiler had 2,400 yards passing. Bo has 18 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Those two quarterbacks in 2015 at this time had 11 touchdowns to 17 interceptions.
Wow.
They had taken 20 sacks. Bo has taken 10 sacks.
Yep.
And a 85 rating to a 72 rating. Now let's go to the defense. This is where it gets really interesting. And you won't believe some of these stats. Let's go 2025 Broncos points for 235.
Okay.
2025 Broncos points against 173.
Okay.
2015
really good.
Broncos points for 222, so a little bit less. Points against through 10 games, 183. That's 10 more points against through 10 games.
Wow. 1 point difference a game.
This is the big one that goes in favor of 2015. 19 turnovers created by that team through 10 games, only 8 by this team. This team has allowed 1,200 rushing yards. That team had only allowed 944 rushing yards.
Wow.
But this team has only allowed 2,100 passing yards. That team, the no-fly zone, had allowed 2,400 yards passing.
That is insane.
And let's see if there's any more here. Sacks.
Yeah.
That team 34, this team 46.
Woo. And that's the big one that can help the Broncos cut the gap in the turnovers, is that sack number.
And then last one I'll give you here. That team defensive red zone percentage 59.5. This team's defensive red zone percentage 34.8.
Wow. Wow. That is incredible. And defense wins championships, as we saw with that 2015 team. Those are incredible.
The reason why I bring that up is because the thing I keep hearing is like, good teams don't look like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, they did.
Yep.
The last time we were here, they looked a lot like this.
Yep. 100%. And I mean, how about just look at the Super Bowl? The Eagles offense looked great in the Super Bowl. Their defense was what won them the game against Patrick Mahomes.
Well, yeah. And I mean, the big one that people talk about is like, because Peyton Manning's stats were legitimately atrocious.
Yeah.
Like legitimately atrocious.
As sad as it is to say, it's the truth.
Some of the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah. For a starting quarterback.
But the big thing was, he got us in the right play.
Yeah.
When the game was on the line, he found a way to get us in the right play and found a way to get just enough points to overcome the defense. It's a little different when it's not the quarterback on the field who's in charge of that. But I really think Sean Payton can get you in the right play.
Such a good point. You're 100% right.
And so I'll go back to what I said last week, which we definitely didn't see against the Raiders. Bo Nix is one level up. All he has to do is level up one more notch.
Yeah.
And this team has no ceiling.
You're 100% right. And Ryan, the crazy thing about Bo, because he has had a couple of tough games, there's no denying that, he's still top 5 in touchdowns. Like, he is still getting it done in one of the most important stats and categories. He's getting it done in the fourth quarter. He has the most fourth quarter comebacks and the most game-winning drives since the start of 2024. That means when he entered the league as a rookie, no one has had more clutch moments than Bo Nix. Think about that. As a rookie, compared to Patrick Mahomes in his 8th and 9th year, Josh Allen in his 6th year, all these other, Lamar Jackson, no one's done it more than Bo Nix in clutch time. If you were to give me one trait for a quarterback, that's one I would choose right there.
100%.
And then you pair it with this great defense that you just laid out right there, man. I'm feeling good about Sunday, and I'm looking forward to diving into it even more. Before we move on to tomorrow, we got a couple of super chats, which we're going to hit in overtime. Go to thednvr.com to finish this show in overtime. And Ryan, let's hit these super chats that we've got. First one is coming in from our friend Bad Moon, who just became a member of Supporters Club. Shout out, Bad Moon. We appreciate you.
He just gives a shout out to Alex.
Yes, he does. He does. He says he's going to beat cancer. If anyone will, it is Alex. That is 100%. 100% right there, Bad Moon. And Neutrino Waves just hits us with the super chat. We appreciate you.
Yes, Neutrino Waves is showing the love all show. So
yes,
thank you.
Really appreciate that. Really appreciate everyone. I mean, most of the chat was very positive and extremely supportive, and we really appreciate every single one of you in here right now. Neutrino Waves saying predicted 12 wins for the Broncos before the season, sticking to it as you should. 8-2 right now, looking pretty darn good. What was the Broncos over under? Was it 9.5?
I think so.
Come on.
There's no way it was 10.5.
No, I think you're right. Yeah. At the bye, you can be half a win away.
Crazy.
Let's go. That's going to do it. Obviously, all of our thoughts and prayers and support and love is with Alex, and we appreciate everyone rolling with us and dropping their love and support for Alex as well. That's going to do it for us today. Tomorrow, we're going to look at how big of an opportunity the Broncos have against the Chiefs. Continue to dive into the Chiefs, and we're going to do it with our guy, Brian Baldinger, so make sure to tune in then. We will see you at noon tomorrow.
God.
We all silly like the mayor.